Welcome to another 3-day series, and today we're taking a look at these three projects. So we have development, splash, and dip. And as you can see, I worked a little bit with kind of a cloud-based system where you create points, then you just colorize them. So that's pretty much what I did here. And we're going to take a look at the project. But yeah, I just love this specific one, the first one. It was kind of a randomized setup, but yeah, I'm really glad that I came up with this. And let's take a look at the first project. So as you can see, this is what we have. And of course, I added, I'm going to press render. I added a couple of sphere because I just loved the way this looks, and it just needed a sphere here as an eye. So that's why I added this. And as you can see, we have a nice red fog behind. So this is thanks to a light. So I'm going to turn off my spheres. And as you can see, there's a light right behind the sphere, which is maybe this one. No, this one. Yeah, it's this one. And yeah, this is the file that we have. So I do want to turn off the volume. And let's take a look at the geometry node. So we have an icosphere without any subdivision that we turn in a volume. After that, we distribute points into that volume. And this is what we have. And after that, we are creating a repeat zone where we are going to change the set position of each of these spheres. And as you can see, I'm doing that thanks to a noise, and I'm going to put this here. So now we have 0 iteration, which means that nothing is affecting our icosphere volume. I'm going to add 1, and now you can see that the noise is going to displace our volume. And the nice thing about the repeat zone is that we can pretty much multiply this effect, right? So if we start increasing the iteration, the offset effect is going to be multiplied. And we can go, I'm going to try 10. And yeah, after that, you can see that now we have this nice volume cluster. So after our repeat zone, we have point to vertex. We have our instance on point. So I'm going to add this up. And the instance on point are icosphere and a random value in the scale to kind of have randomized scaling of those spheres. And this is really dense. You know, I love this thing. I then realized each instance, set shade smooth, and our material. Yeah, this is pretty much how I was able to come up with this. So the embryo was kind of a, random factor of our noise and just the right placement of the camera. Let's take a look at the texture. So the texture is pretty easy. We're taking the object coordinate into a noise, color ramp, and that's pretty much it. Base color, I do have some subsurface and a coat, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, so I just reopened the project file, and that's what we have here. And after that, I tried to play around with my lighting. There's 2 area lights and 1 point light, which is right down here on the right to have this glow on the eye. So the second project is fairly identical. I don't think that I changed anything apart from some of the noise texture sliders here. Apart from that, I might have added a couple of more density on the mesh to volume to really have this nice and dense cluster. And I'm going to go to my camera, and I'm going to press on render so we can see what we have. And yeah, so of course, I used some subsurface and color ramp. After the instance on point, I added a store name attribute, which I call instance, to be able to kind of append it in the shader, and that way I was able to assign different colors to each of every sphere. So of course it looks like the gradient is kind of linear, right, from here to outside. But the thing is since I have a subsurface, the dense part of the mesh are going to be squished together, so there's a lot of overlap happening, and that's why we are kind of having this singular color. So that's just a subsurface effect. And if I close that, you can see how the color ramp looks, and each of these spheres have a different color. So as you can see, if I zoom in, they all have a different color. We have this time 6 iteration. Let's try 10 again to see how this will change. And oh yeah, this looks nice. And from there, you can play around with the noise scale. So let's try 1. Yeah, so now it's more like a kind of cloud. And for the third project, I still have the same setup, exactly the same setup. This time I didn't add an attribute. And I'm going to go out of my camera and I'm going to turn off the cloud and the compositor, because I do have some glow, and this is what we have. So I think, yeah, 10 iteration, scale to 1. So as you can see, we had kind of similar setup in the previous project when I set the scale to 1. And yeah, so this is what we have. So yeah, I wanted to make this kind of a underwater shot, and I added kind of the fog. And if we zoom in the fog, all right, let's turn down, or you can see that I was able to create these arrays, these God arrays, thanks to a little icosphere that is right in the center of our point light. I used a decimate mesh, a wireframe, and after that a subdivision surface to have this design here. And even this on its own looks nice. I'm going to turn down my light, and as you can see, the light rays go out of the kind of hole that we have on our sphere. And that's pretty much it for this series. I love working with kind of cloud system like that. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.